Hey there, 302. I'm Jackie Ferris. On this week's show, you're going to get all the feels because we're going to hang out with these two cutie pies. But their destiny is much more than being adorable. They're actually going to be guide dogs for the seeing eye. So get ready to be wowed with cuteness. The 302 is wagging for your approval. Hey 302, have you ever wondered how guide dogs get their start? Well, some of them start here at the University of Delaware in a program called PROUD, or Puppy Raisers of the University of Delaware. I'm joined now by Emma Van Golen and Madison Gregg. They are both puppy raisers and members of the organization. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us. We're super happy to be here.
So talk to me a little bit about your organization. You're the only college organization that trains puppies for the seeing eye. Is that right?
We're actually one of two. We were the first college club that the Seeing Eye had for puppy raisers, but there is one other club at Rutgers University. But UD's puppy raising club was the first, and at UD we are actually the oldest and longest lasting puppy raising RSO.
So we're talking about 20 years here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, this year is our 20th anniversary of raising puppies here at UD.
So what exactly does the organization do? I know that raising puppies is one thing, but it's not just feeding them and taking them for walks, right?
Yeah, no, we do a lot. It's a 24/7 commitment. So we are responsible for their basic needs like feeding them, taking them for walks, potty breaks, everything like that. But we do basic obedience, so we teach them basic commands and we want to give them a firm foundation. So we try to socialize them in tons of different environments and things like that to prepare them for their future as guide dogs. Ideally, we want them to be able to go into any environment, any situation in their guide dog career and feel comfortable and confident leading their blind person.
So Emma, what kinds of things do we talk about socializing them and putting them in different kinds of situations. What kinds of situations do you put them through?
Yeah, so most typically just walking around campus with me. We also are allowed to bring our puppies to all university buildings and class with professor permission. So that's really good because a lot of our dogs do go on to office environments. So they get used to being on that busy campus setting, but also working on campus as well. I also take my puppies a lot to different sporting events and different things like that where they're able to experience different types of people and a lot of different noises and things like that.
Because that's important, because there is really no limit to where a guide dog should be able to go unencumbered or not bothered by the situation. So do you find that it's a process that right away they take to it, or maybe you kind of phase things in slowly?
So it all depends on the puppy because every puppy is different and they all have different temperaments, and it actually varies by breed a lot as well. So certain breeds tend to be more confident than others. So we just try to see our puppy's personality and what they can handle. We always pay attention to signs of stress in puppies. So some of the common ones are shaking, yawning, panting, and we try to just see what their stress level is at before taking them on to bigger and more stressful environments. So we start out really slow. So when we first get our puppies, we try to do smaller things like coffee shops, libraries, smaller outings that are a lot more comfortable for them. And as they gain confidence and comfortability, we will take them on to bigger events.
Now, I know that whenever a guide dog is working, or a service dog, the public is not supposed to come up and pet the dog because the dog's actually working. Do you have to work on the opposite end of things and teach puppies not to seek affection from strangers when they come up?
Yeah, so we definitely do things like that. So it is important for our dogs to learn how to be friendly around people, but without getting extremely excited. So We do typically let our dogs sit, and then as long as the person asks, they're allowed to pet them. But it's really up to the raiser, and we do have to also say no sometimes, just to actually teach the public, but also to teach our puppies. So sometimes I'll just be walking on my way to class and somebody will ask to pet, and I'll be like, no, not right now, he's actually working, and just continue on my way. And that way your puppy's not really paying attention to it, and you kind of just go along your way. So yeah, you definitely do teach your puppy as well as the public.
Now, you guys are all students in this chapter, so how did you get involved and what kind of training do you have to go through? Is this like a weekly thing you all get together and go over new skills, or is it something that one class is passed down to another?
So everybody starts out in a different way. There's tons of ways to get involved with different registered student organizations on campus. So personally, when I came to the University of Delaware for my student orientation, I saw one of the Seeing Eye puppies working with their handlers. So I just talked to them and I was like, wow, that's a really amazing thing that you're doing. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? And after learning all about the program and what they do, I was like, I have to get involved with that. Like, that sounds so amazing. So that's how I found out about Proud. And freshman year, both Emma and I joined during our fall semester. We're seniors now, so like 4 years ago, which is sad. But we got involved, we started attending meetings. There are bi-monthly meetings on the first Tuesday and third Sunday of each month. So we just attend meetings, and then we also attend a new member meeting, which is where we learn a lot about the training. And Emma's our vice president, and she actually runs our new member meetings. So if you wanted to.
Yeah, so at the new member meetings, it's just anybody who is interested in sitting for us. So our sitters watch the dogs when the raisers aren't able to take them somewhere. So we start off by going over a new member quiz. So that goes over everything that the sitters have to know, just like basic rules and things like that for our club. And then they have to sign off a thing called a puppy promise. So what our puppy promise is, it just goes over the Seeing Eye guidelines and says like what the Seeing Eye allows and different things like that as well. And then they actually are able to handle one of our puppies and go through their basic commands with them, just so we can show them how to handle the puppies and help them gain their confidence with that.
Alrighty, we're going to talk more about the Proud program at the University of Delaware when we come right back.
We're the Miracle Workers, and you're watching the 302.
Welcome back. We're talking to Emma and Madison of Proud here at the University of Delaware. Now, I understand that each experience can be different, not just for the puppy raiser, but for the puppies as well, different ages, different lengths of time. Madison, tell us a little bit about your first experience training a puppy.
So I got my first puppy, Winter, when she was about 7 months old. She was a female German Shepherd, and her family was no longer able to raise her for the Seeing Eye, so I took her. And so she spent about 9 months with me, and she was here at the University of Delaware with me. So she went to classes with me and everything. And it was definitely different from the average experience, because usually when you get your puppy at 7 weeks old, you have to really slowly introduce them to things to make sure that they are confident and comfortable. But getting Winter, she had already been slowly exposed to so much that she was able to do a lot more when I first got her. So I still had to introduce her to campus and things like that, but she was able to go on bigger outings, and she was a lot more confident than a tiny 7-week-old puppy would be.
Now, was it difficult because she had someone raising her, but then you became her partner, her raiser, so to speak. So was it hard for her to make the adjustment?
Actually, no, it wasn't. Winter and I were so closely bonded. It was actually crazy, but she was definitely my little baby, and she didn't have trouble with the adjustment at all. And it was probably because I was so absolutely in love with her that I showered her with love and affection 24/7, that she was probably just living the good life.
Now, Emma, you have a different story about your first puppy that you raised. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks before I got my puppy, I got a call, and all I knew was like, you're getting a male German Shepherd from the pea litter. So all of the dogs in that litter and pea names, so it's the pea litter. And then in July, I got my first puppy. He's a male German Shepherd named Pito. And he was tiny. He was 6.5 pounds at 7 weeks old and adorable. I was absolutely in love with him, and I raised him for a little over a year, so he went back October 29th of 2018. And so I had to start off very slow with him since he was a baby, but it was really nice because I was home over the summer. So I just got to snuggle him and got all the puppy snuggles and take him to really slow outings. So I started with a local coffee shop, and there were like 5 people in there. So he just got to go for a couple of minutes and then hang out there. And then we came back, and then we just gradually built up from there. We went back on campus once we moved back in, and he was so versatile. He was so calm. He went back around 18 months old. He's actually still up at the Seeing Eye. He's been there for about a year now, and he's just really waiting for his perfect person.
So you guys keep and train the puppies until what age?
Between 13 and 16 months, and when they go back depends on like what the Seeing Eye needs at the time. So if there are a lot of graduates who are asking for German Shepherds at the time, then they'll pull more German Shepherd litters back. But if there are more people asking for Goldens, then they'll wait and let the German Shepherds stay in the puppy raising program for a little longer and pull more Goldens back when they're younger. So anytime between 13 and 16 months, but sometimes it can be a little more or less too.
So once they go through you give them the basics, right? Mm-hmm. Once they go through the Seeing Eye training, you guys actually get to see them from afar to see how they're doing. Tell me about that.
It is the absolute most amazing experience. My puppy Winter, she actually went into their breeding program up at the Seeing Eye, and so she's still up there as well. She's having puppies that are going out into the puppy raising program. But yes, so I got to go up and see a town walk, and so you get to stay back from a distance and see your puppy working in harness, and it really shows you all that you've learned, and seeing the progression from a 7-week-old tiny little puppy that is completely dependent on you turn into this super confident and amazing guide dog that like walks through the streets without a care and is so happy is just the most amazing experience.
So do you have animals at home, dogs at home, and are they better behaved because of the work you do, or do they have a different standard?
Yeah, so I have a 4-year-old lab at home and then also a 7-year-old boxer mix. So they kind of do whatever they want when they're at home. They go on the couch, they sometimes steal food off the counter. My one dog actually eats at the table sometimes. So it's definitely a different experience. Rest Flint, good boy. But my puppies, we just set like the standard that they are having these rules versus what my dogs are able to do. And sometimes I think it rubs off a little bit on my home dogs. Like I started using rest with my home dogs actually. It just kind of slips out a little bit. But yeah, they've definitely learned a couple of things and have some better manners now that I have been raising those puppies and setting that precedent.
That's great. We're going to talk a little bit about why you use rest instead of stay in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Janice Savini, Director of Fearless Improv, and we are making it up as we go on the 302.
Welcome back. We're joined by Emma and Madison with Proud at the University of Delaware. Now, Proud, or Puppy Raising of the University of Delaware, your sole function is to prepare these dogs, as we've been talking about, for a bigger picture, for the Seeing Eye. So talk to us a little bit more about that relationship and how that must really be rewarding.
Mm-hmm. So the Seeing Eye's mission is to enhance the independence, dignity, and self-confidence of blind individuals through the use of specially trained Seeing Eye dogs. And so our whole purpose is to prepare these dogs for their careers later on. And once they leave us, they go back to the Seeing Eye, like I said, around 13 to 16 months old, and they will go through a formal training process because, like we were saying, we just do the basics. So when they go back to do formal training, they learn more advanced guide dog work. They'll actually get a whole medical evaluation because the Seeing Eye wants to make sure that there will be no medical problems later on in the dog's life that could impact the blind individual who they're partnered with. And so they'll go through a whole training process, and then they will find their perfect match. So the Seeing Eye has groups of blind individuals come to the Seeing Eye's campus, and they will find the perfect puppy for them. So they take into account temperament, walking pace, location, like if the dog would do better in a city, they'll match them with someone who lives in city life, and all of that to find the perfect person for each puppy.
Now, going through this process, I mean, it's fun. You have a puppy, you get to spend a lot of time with it. But Emma, can you talk about, just how personally fulfilling this must be to know that all the love that you're pouring and all the attention and the time, the training into this beautiful dog is going to help someone be able to go to the grocery store or go about their daily lives?
Yeah, of course. So for me, like, when you get this puppy, it's so small and you're teaching it everything and it's adorable, but it's really when they become like a year old or like over 6 months and they start to understand things and you can see them start to figure things out by themselves. It's so cool to see because you know that they know that this is what they're meant to do and that they're really going to fulfill that purpose. And it really comes up at the town walk as well. That's why that is so emotional, is just because you started this journey for this dog and you started teaching it things, but like it fulfills a destiny that's like way bigger than you can even imagine. And just being able to hear like graduate stories from the Seeing Eye and hearing how impactful these dogs are for those people, it's just like so personally fulfilling, and it's just like the best thing that, like the best feeling I've ever had.
I can imagine. Now, you guys were saying that for our dogs at home, we all say stay, but you guys say rest. What's the difference between the two commands?
So the Seeing Eye actually has an emergency word that they use if like they're in a dangerous situation or anything. The graduate will say stop. And so the reason that we use rest instead of stay is because stay sounds very similar to stop, and we wouldn't want to confuse the puppies while they're working, especially with a word that's so important, a command that's so important. So the reason that we use rest is because of that.
So you guys are raising money to go to Massachusetts for a very special occasion. Can you talk to me a little bit about, if somebody wants to help you, first of all, why do you want to go to Massachusetts and how can somebody help you?
Yeah, so we would like to go to Massachusetts because this year, like we said earlier, is our 20th anniversary for our club. And so we think it would be an amazing experience overall, especially for our puppies, because they would get so much socialization. They would get to experience city life, which they don't get a ton of here at UD. It's just a completely different environment in Boston. And we would be taking a bus up there, so they would get that experience of riding on a bus with other puppies for a couple hours and making that long trip. And overall, it would just be a great experience for them and would prepare them very much so for their careers as guide dogs.
So we are fundraising pretty continuously just to try and make that goal. So you are able to donate like directly to the club. We do take like mailed checks and donations that way, or you can give online with card through the University of Delaware as well. Every little bit counts, so we really do appreciate it.
So is there a certain place that we can go to, like a certain website we can go to donate?
If you look up University of Delaware Giving, website will pop up.
So basically what people need to do if they want to give to puppy raisers of the University of Delaware is go to the website and look for the page that allows them to give. But you're also on Instagram, is that right?
We are, yes.
So our Instagram handle is Proud Pups, and we post every single day of the year, and we feature all of our puppies. They each get their own post every single day, and we rotate through all of them. And we also have a Facebook group that people can follow. It's Puppy Raisers of the University of Delaware. We also post pictures on there as well.
So if somebody can't find the link, or maybe they just want to go to Facebook, some people are more comfortable with Facebook or Instagram. They can just contact you that way, and you can tell them how they can give, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And we also have a club email, so if people wanted more information or they would like to contact us through there, they can email us at udpuppyclub@gmail.com.
Okay, before we go, can you introduce us to the dogs here?
Absolutely. So this is Kiko. She is a 13-month-old Lab Golden Cross. She is 1/8 Golden, and she is the sweetest little girl, and she's very sleepy and snuggly today.
And Emma, who do you have here?
Yeah, of course. So this is Flint. He's about 13 or 14 months old. He's a male black lab, and he's just a sweet, chill boy. He just loves to go.
Emma, Madison, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. For more information on Proud, you can go to udpuppyclub.com, or for the Seeing Eye, visit seeingeye.org. That'll do it for this episode of the 302. We leave you with more cuteness now from Kiko and Flint. Until next time, I'm Jackie Ferris. We'll see you on the 302.